dimensions, understanding dimensions. وَجَاءَ رَجُلٌ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ. A man came from the end sides of the city. يَسْعَى. Because if you want to do da'wah, you have to do sa'i. مَنْ أَرَادَ الْآخِرَ وَسَعَى لَهَا سَعْيَهَا. You cannot say, I want the akhirah, and there's no sa'i. There's no work. That's why what do you do when you go to Mecca? You have to do sa'i. Sa'i means what? Move. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala usually sends one messenger. In this instance, for Surah Yasin, Allah sent 3. Right? إِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهِمُ اثْنَيْنِ فَكَذَّبُوهُمَا فَعَزَّزْنَا بِثَالِثٍ. We sent them 2 messengers, only one village. وَاضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلًا أَصْحَابَ الْقَرْيَةِ. One village, small village. They say, يعني the Mufassirin, there is really no authentic sanad to this, and I don't like stories. They say, the Mufassirin say, it's Antakya, or the city on the Turkish border, bordering Syria today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep Syria and the Syrians and the Yemenis, and now the list is so long, you don't know where do you stop. Nasallallahu al-afiyah. Allah sent them 2 messengers, they belied them. فَعَزَّزْنَا بِثَالِثٍ. We sent them another messenger. قَالُوا إِنَّا إِلَيْكُمْ مُرْسَلُونَ. They told them, we are messengers. So you know the whole story, right? It's, what do you mean you're messengers, etc., etc. Anyway, so these people now gathered around these messengers. They belied them, they slandered them, everything. All of a sudden, a man from the same village comes from the end of the town. Yas'a, running. Qala ya qawm. He told them, O people, ittabi'u al-mursalin. Why are you giving these messengers a hard time? Follow them. Ittabi'u man la yas'alukum ajran wa hum muhtadun. Follow those who don't ask you anything, etc., and they are guided. So now the people of the village there, they looked at him and they're telling him, what now? Are you with us or are you against us? Well, where do you stand? You're supposed to be with us. You're part of us. We are your qawm. We are your people. And you're signing with these strangers or these messengers. Where do you stand? Do you believe in our God or do you believe in their God that they're calling for? So he tells them, وَمَا لِيَ لَا أَعْبُدُ الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي. Hatta even the people of ilm come with, he doesn't say, why shouldn't I worship their Lord? He say, why shouldn't I, وَمَا لِيَ لَا أَعْبُدُ الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي. Why shouldn't I worship the one who created me? Shouldn't you ask yourself, where from, where to, and why? I mean, isn't that a basic thing that you ask yourself, where did that come from? And where am I going? I mean, what's next? Right? We always say, what's next? So what's next? Right? So what's next? Another question that need to be answered also, why? You can't wake up somewhere, if someone takes you and you wake up somewhere and you don't know where you are, you don't know how you got here, and you don't know where you're going, and you just say, you know what, I just woke up here, let me just go about my regular day, without asking where from, where to, and why. There will be disorientation. And oftentimes our problem today is lack of orientation. Since the track is not there, where to, where from, and why, and we're all going to depart. All of you good and beautiful people will have to go. All of us are here to go. None of us is here to stay. That's a fact. There are choices that we can do while we're here on this plane, and we have choices. As long as you breathe, you still have choices. Make the right choice. That's all. All right. So this man comes and tells them, follow the messengers. They tell him, you are like them. قال وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً. You want me to worship a God that you made? إِن يُرِدْنِي الرَّحْمَنُ بِضُرٍّ لَا تُغْنِي عَنِّي شَفَاعَتُهُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَا يُنْقِذُونَ. These idols you're worshiping cannot help themselves, let alone help others. You want me to worship something that's helpless in it itself? Anyway, you know what happened. So these people, they left the messengers and they turned against this guy, Mu'min al-Yasin, right? So at the end, they gave him an ultimatum. They said, look, you either go back and believe like us or we'll kill you. أَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِهِ, he tells them, أَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً إِن يُرِدْنِي الرَّحْمَنُ بِضُرٍّ لَا تُغْنِي عَنِّي شَفَاعَتُهُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَا يُنْقِذُونَ. He told them, if I was to leave the deen of these messengers, إِنِّي إِذًا لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. Indeed, I would be in serious error. So allegedly, the story the Mufassirin bring, obviously the Qur'an does not elaborate on the details here, nor do we have it in the authentic narrative. But they put the knife on his neck and they want to kill him. That's it, done. So he gives one last shout to the messengers. Because the messengers used, the scene is so that the messengers are there, the people around them, and this man that came all the way to support those messengers, and now these people, his own people, are trying to kill him. And he looks at the messengers and he shouts last thing for them, قال إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون. I am a believer in your Lord, so hear my testimony. Why? He wants also witnesses. He knows they're going to kill him. So I am a believer. إِنِّي آمَنْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ. I believe in your Lord. فَاسْمَعُونَ. So hear me so you can be what? Witnesses for me with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can also say that I heard him saying it, and I heard him going through this. Anyway, you know what happened. The next ayah goes, قِيلَ دُخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ. Immediately. So that means what? It means, the ayah means, he was told, enter Jannah, enter paradise. What does that mean? They killed him. But it's the last seconds. There's still some ruh there. The ruh doesn't depart immediately like that. So in that second when they killed him, and immediately now the alam of the unseen is unveiled. كشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد. We have now unveiled your sight, so you no longer are veiled. Now you can see what you could not see. It turns out now all of a sudden this alam of the akhirah, this qabr that people think it's a qabr they're going down, it's a world that you're stepping in. It's not just a qabr it's not a hole that you're going in. So it opens up. قِيلَ دُخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ. Now he hears, his hearing is no longer only with bashar. His hearing is now with the malaika. Even the unveiling is not just to what he sees, the unveiling also is to what he hears. The hearing is heightened and the seeing is heightened, and he hears the malaika telling him, please enter Jannah, enter paradise. قِيلَ دُخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ. The first thing he said, when he obviously now that's what we call him shaheed. He's now witnessing Jannah. When he witnessed with his eyes, the very first thing he said, what? قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون. I wish my people who killed me can see what I am seeing. I wish I can, as if he's saying, I wish I can just go back just a second. Can I just go back to the world? I just left it, it's fresh. Can I go back and tell them what I'm seeing? قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما. What's the most important? Jannah? بما غفر لي ربي. Yani today, this whole point about Jannah, which is obviously we're supposed to hope for, and Jahannam, which obviously we're supposed to fear and avoid. But definitely you don't want to love Jannah more than Allah, and have ta'alluq and attachment to Jannah more than the creator of Jannah. And you don't want to fear a makhluk, be it hellfire or being whatever it is, and not be afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a sense of love and ashamed of doing something that's wrong. Jannah and Jahannam are His creation subhanahu wa ta'ala. You follow what He told you about them, but keep your heart with Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the point. When this man was told, Al-Malaika told him, قِيلَ دُخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ, they're telling him, they're spelling it out, please enter Jannah. The first thing what he said, قَالَ يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي يَعْلَمُونَ بِمَا غَفَرَ لِي رَبِّي. The best day is the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cleanses you from your sins and shortcomings and all these things, and renders you again, because Jannah is pure. And in order to enter it, it requires also purity. And therefore that forgiveness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بِمَا غَفَرَ لِي رَبِّي, which means by what Allah has, my Lord has forgiven me, has granted me His forgiveness. Priorities. Priorities. If you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure to forgive you and to love you, Jannah and other things, they come as a bonus, because it's Him who gives anyway. The problem is that al-qalb, or the heart, is attached to the creation rather than being attached to the Creator. The heart still hopes in what the creation has to offer, rather than, be it a human being or be it Jannah for that, versus being hopeful in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to offer. And again, within the texts and within the context of the texts of the book and the Sunnah. Anyway, the whole point, I talked about Mu'min al-Fir'aun, I didn't want to talk about it, but because of the Shahada. Now, we call them, because he witnessed, قِيلَ دُخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ قَالَ يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي يَعْلَمُونَ بِمَا غَفَرَ لِي رَبِّي. He says, وَجَعَلَنِي مِنَ الْمُكْرَمِينَ. He honored me. So when we say ashhad, there's a practical aspect of tawheed.